in the battle zone on this Tuesday. The White House is considering a plan that would turn millions of illegal immigrants into legal citizens of the United States. The plan would allow 1 to 2 million Mexican citizens working in this country to apply for permanent legal citizenship, should people who illegally sneak into this country be given a free ride. Joining us from Washington is the executive director of the Federation for American Immigration Reform, Dan Stein, and the executive director of the National Immigration Forum, Frank Sherry. Mr. Sherry, we have laws in the books of the United States. Should they be obeyed?
Yeah, but the laws don't work. The laws make it impossible.
Wait a minute. One thing at a time. We'll get to that in a minute. So if we have laws on the books, they should be obeyed. If people disrespect the laws of the land, if they don't respect the sovereignty of the United States, if they come to this country, know they're breaking the law, why would we reward them with citizenship? Why?
Look, the laws on the books don't work. We make it impossible for people who want to leave their family, come into the United States and work hard and seek the American dream. We make it illegal for them to do so.
We have legal immigration in America. Legal immigration. There are people that go through the proper procedures, the entire process to come into this country legally. By my count, I think you probably have 70% of the world's population that if they could would like to come here. You don't see people trying to get out of the United States. They want to come here. But we can't accept everybody. We don't have enough room.
Of course we can't accept everyone, and of course we have to have rules that limit entry, but our rules are overly restrictive. We have willing workers in Mexico, we have open jobs in the United States, and we have employers who can't hire them legally.
Frank,
our laws are broken.
You won't address my direct question. Why, if we have laws on the books and people don't respect those laws, nor the sovereignty of the United States, why should they be rewarded with citizenship? Give it to people that respect the laws of the land.
Look, we should reward their hard work. These are people that are already here, that have been here for years.
They got here illegally, though. There are people that are waiting to get in.
Our laws don't work. Look, the Soviet Union had laws that weren't respected, and I'm sure you didn't stand up for those laws. The fact is that we have immigrants who are willing to work hard, pay taxes, and seek the American dream.
You know something? Nobody support. I understand when people that come from these countries where they experience nothing but poverty, they have no opportunity, they want a shot at the American dream. I understand it, and I don't blame people for wanting a better life. But we have to reward those people that respect the laws first, be them from Mexico or any other country. And they should get a top priority over those that are already here only because they got here illegally. Dan?
Hey, look, if President Fox really wants to help rebuild Mexico, he ought to be encouraging folks who've been here working, getting job experience on construction, service, trade to go back home. You know how it is when you're sitting on the freeway and there's a big traffic jam and there's a whole lot of people in front of you and some SOB zips on the shoulder and butts in front of everybody? Well, that's what it's like to talk about giving an amnesty. We know from 1986, when we had one before, that it set off a flood of illegal immigration. We've got more illegals in the country right now than we've ever had before, and another amnesty is basically a disaster.
It's Alan. Welcome.
Hey, Alan.
Look, 50 to 80% of the that's 1.6 million farm workers in this country are illegal immigrants. Should we round them up?
I don't know where you're getting the data from, but I tell you, we can certainly encourage people. People here illegally can be encouraged to go back home. Mexico has a responsibility to encourage them to go back home. But look.
But let's be pragmatic here, Dan. Wait a second. First of all, it's the Bureau of Labor Statistics. 1.6 million farm workers in America are illegal immigrants. There are millions others. Should we round them up? If what you believe is that's what you believe, then you must, I guess, think we should round them up and get them to go back home and deport them, right?
Alan, I think we can use, through a variety of state and local enforcement mechanisms, ways of discouraging people from staying by making it impossible to get a job, to get an apartment, to get a loan.
Farm industry
needs them. We have a whole variety of reasons. Plus, it's Mexico's responsibility to take these folks back. Look, we have given Mexico 3.5 million visas since 1981. That is 35 times more than the average other country. We have been more than fair with Mexico. Plus, you know what, Alan? The Democrats are saying, no, not just Mexico. We got to give everybody an amnesty from all over the world, who here from all over the world, basically immigration on demand.
Frank, they stop short of saying round them up and deport them. If they really believe this is horrible, it's illegal, we got to obey the laws, rather than be pragmatic and enact laws that make sense, but they're not saying round them up and toss them back. They're already here. What do we do now? That's the issue, Frank, right?
Exactly. We have to deal with reality. John McCain said, let's deal with the reality. They're here. They're working. Entire industries are dependent on them. They're doing jobs that most Americans shun. If Dan Stein got his wish, entire industries would collapse.
We got to take a break.
Let's deal with reality.
We'll come back and we'll continue. We'll pick up our debate.
Back to our debate. Dan, is President Bush supporting this, well, not amnesty, but reincorporating illegal immigrants for any other reason than firming up his base with Latino voters?
Well, he's going to try to do that with
Isn't
this
that why he's
amnesty
doing
giveaway.
it?
Oh, look, there's a big cheap labor agenda. Multinational corporations want to keep down the cost of American labor. But this is an explosive issue. Look, the Democrats have been pushing hard, saying we want to bring in more immigrants because they vote Democrat. The Republicans are saying, well, we got to find a way to help get them Republican. But let me tell you, it's explosive. The polls show 70–80% of the public opposes the whole idea. I'm sure it's going to be a raging political issue. I would not want to be.
It's got the support of the Catholic Church. And George W. Bush is the one saying to bring them in. The Republicans are saying it because they want a Latino voter base. That's where the motivation is.
Alan, if we give another amnesty, we will have forever lost our ability to control this country's borders. It is at the wrong time, a bad idea at exactly the wrong time. We need people to study this whole idea. We need to spend some time looking at these issues because there are broad downstream implications to what we're talking about.
You know,
this is no way to make immigration policy two parties chasing after ethnic
industries depend, like the farm industry, on these Mexican workers. What would you do if you got your way and everybody went back to where they came from? What would you do about these industries that are dependent upon these workers, and they're good for the economy because they do pay taxes, they have tax ID numbers? What do you want to do about that?
Alan, you are a good liberal. You sound like you're defending the institution of slavery. What is wrong with the American way?
I'm supporting the right to have the American way and to get labor protection, which is part of this bill, and job protection.
Alan, you missed the point.
And better working conditions for people.
But the whole reason why these workers are attractive to these growers is because they're illegal. If you make them legal, the same kind of oppressive conditions don't exist. It's no solution to give them an amnesty because that's why they're pushing for a guest worker program. They want to maintain the same exploitation system. We have to. There is an American way, Alan. It is called the free market.
Frank, it is the American way because built into this legislation, there's labor protections, worker protections,
there is no
safety protections. That is part of the way. That is part of this legislation.
Frank, we're finally going to bring some common sense and rule of law to our immigration policies. We're going to make it legal for people to work here and legal for people to come here. We're going to have an orderly system that's better regulated than the chaos we have now. We have tough laws that are unenforceable instead of smart laws that are enforceable. Bush and Fox are onto something. They're going to create a more orderly, legal, and safe migration system that is going to be to the credit of both of them.
I'm not against the guest worker program if it makes sense for the country and it provides some people opportunity and if it's monitored properly and so on and so forth. My disagreement with you is amnesty is given to people on the basis of law breaking. It renders our laws irrelevant. That's the point, and that's this total disregard and disrespect for the laws of the land.
That's right.
But let's look at the law.
What's the point of having them?
That's right.
Yeah, but let's look at the laws we have now. We have a massive buildup at the border. It's illegal for employers to hire them, and both have failed. We have people paying smugglers, dying in the desert to get here, and being exploited.
You're missing the whole point, Frank.
We're talking
rewarding a criminal act.
About creating a regulatory framework that works rather than tough laws that don't work, that create a black market.
Frank, the reason
making immigration policies work well.
Sean, this country doesn't have control of immigration because we have no interior enforcement. Organizations working with Frank Sherry's group and many corporate interests have worked to decimate verifiable work documents, interior enforcement, detention, deportation. There is no worksite enforcement. If you tell the illegal, if you get past the Border Patrol, you're never going to be deported. Obviously, we're never going to get control of the borders. What the solution Frank Sherry is offering is basically chaos, immigration on demand. Let them come based on their demands or the demands of foreign governments.
Chaos is what we have now. What we're trying to do is to bring some common sense.
You want to give us more of your chaos.
But
We've had 20 years of your nonsense.
Frank, what you're saying is, Frank, you're saying that with this forgiveness and with this amnesty that you're going to put in place, all those people that broke the law, those laws were irrelevant, meaningless.
Look, this is part of a deal.
And that just, you are rewarding a criminal act. And listen, I'm going to be honest, Frank, I don't think it's that. If I were in a situation where I came from poverty and had no opportunity, I might do the same thing. I admire the people for wanting an opportunity, but there are a lot of people that stayed in Mexico and some of these other countries that would still like to come here, but respect the laws of America and its sovereignty. And I think we ought to provide an opportunity for them because they are more respectful of the rule of law.
Well, we're going to provide pass to legal residence for people here and people coming because we recognize that we have an integrated labor market and we need to have it operate within the law rather than outside the law.
Why have laws then, Frank? Why do we have laws if we're not going to pay any attention to it?
We have laws that are supposed to make sense, that are supposed to be based on reality.
Does it make sense to have an immigration policy?
It does. Let's have an immigration policy.
And these people did not did not respect the orderly process that we have in place, right?
Because the rules make no sense whatsoever. The largest
if I
source
think a
country
law
in the
doesn't
world,
make sense, I have the right to break it.
No, but listen, the world, Mexico gets the same number of visas as Ghana. Come on, it's the largest source country.
Thank you very much.
We've got to make it liberalized.
Thanks for your time. By the way, you haven't been using the cell phone in your car, have you?
Guilty.
All right.